There is an assumption quietly keeping millions of people out of the fastest growing job market of the decade. The assumption is simple. If you can't write code, you don't belong in AI. That was true 3 years ago. Today, companies are sitting on powerful AI models, but they are desperately short on people who actually know how to direct them. They are hiring operators who can think logically and communicate precisely, paying them to orchestrate the tools rather than program the back end. If we look at this horizontal bar chart comparing compensation, traditional non-technical roles sit at a standard baseline. But when we look at specialized, non-coding AI operators, we see an entirely different bracket. Salaries commonly ranging from $70,000 to well over $200,000 annually, depending entirely on experience and specific expertise. To see how someone actually enters that bracket, let's track a realistic timeline. We'll follow someone we'll call Alex. Alex has zero computer science background and no interest in ever learning Python. Over the next 7 months, following a strict chronological blueprint, Alex is going to transition from absolute beginner to hired professional. Memorizing programming syntax is no longer the toll to enter the tech industry. The true currency of this market is structured operational fluency. Month 1 begins with a widely misunderstood skill, prompt engineering. This has nothing to do with memorizing magic phrases. It is the discipline of giving a machine clear context, assigning it a defined role, and establishing strict structural rules for the output you expect. Alex spends this first month practicing microtasks on core platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. That means drafting targeted business emails in specific tones, summarizing 30-page documents into 3 actionable points, and turning messy meeting notes into structured project plans. None of this requires a compiler or a code editor. It requires the ability to communicate precisely with a system that takes instructions literally. That exact skill is the mandatory prerequisite for everything that follows. By month 2, Alex moves from talking to an AI to building automated systems around it. This is visual automation, connecting different software applications together to eliminate manual, repetitive work entirely without code. Look at this workflow diagram. We can see exactly how a platform called Zapier executes this logic. When a new customer submits a form, that trigger links to an AI node. The AI instantly drafts a personalized welcome message, splits the data to update a spreadsheet, and sends a notification to the sales team, lighting up each step in sequence without a single line of script. As the vector lines on this diagram expand to connect new inboxes and databases, we step into slightly more complex territory. Tools like Make and NAN apply this exact same visual logic to heavier tasks, automatically reading and sorting hundreds of incoming emails or seamlessly routing customer queries to a massive internal database. Businesses do not care about the novelty of artificial intelligence technology. They gladly pay massive premiums for the permanent, reliable elimination of their operational bottlenecks. Month 4 scales that logic up to building autonomous AI agents. The roadmap shifts from systems that follow a strict linear sequence to systems capable of handling multi-step decisions on their own. This flowchart illustrates how platforms like VoiceFlow and BotPress actually work. Essential Node asks the user a question. If the query is simple, the glowing pathway branches left for an instant AI answer. If it detects a complex problem, the pathway branches right, immediately handing the conversation off to a human support rep. And when the flowchart rapidly zooms out to reveal a much larger modular block architecture, we see how this applies to enterprise scale. Services like Relevance AI and major cloud providers like AWS Bedrock allow non-coders to configure multi-step research agents and massive AI systems entirely through visual menus and settings. The tools have caught up to human ambition. The strategic design of a system, what it does and why it matters, now vastly outweighs the ability to program its underlying code. By month 6, Alex reaches a critical divergence point. No-code AI isn't a single job title. To become highly employable, a practitioner must focus these generalized skills into a specific marketable business service. This central hub of AI knowledge splits into 4 distinct pathways. You can specialize in prompt engineering to craft hyper-specific marketing instructions. You can become an AI automation specialist. You can move into AI product strategy, translating business needs to technical teams. Or you can pursue local AI consulting to help small businesses figure out where these tools fit. Alex chooses the automation specialist lane. It offers a direct, highly visible return on investment for small operations, a clear path from identifying a time-consuming administrative problem to implementing a solution that demonstrably saves hours of labor each week. Locking in a specific specialization takes a random collection of interesting software skills and packages them into a tangible product a business can easily buy. Month 7 is the final phase, finding the work. For these newly created roles, polishing a traditional resume and firing off generic job applications to massive corporations is highly ineffective. Instead, the strategy requires targeted outreach to overwhelmed small business owners. You approach them with a fully documented functional case study. You demonstrate exactly how a messy workflow was automated and the precise number of hours it saved. You prove your value with working systems, not a piece of paper. This is the unglamorous reality of the 7-month roadmap. It moves from mastering tool fluency to building visual automations to architecting autonomous agents and finally, executing targeted portfolio outreach. The technical barrier that used to guard the AI economy has collapsed. The only requirement left is the discipline to practice with the tools and the willingness to show your work. We left Alex at month 7, a handful of documented practice projects, a solid case study, and a brand new skill set. No computer science degree required. The expectation is that this portfolio serves as a direct ticket to paid work. But direct outreach is brutal. Emails vanish into the void. Replies are polite but non-committal. The market responds with absolute silence. The problem is the framing. Those early pitches focused entirely on Alex, what Alex had learned, and the impressive new software Alex could use. Knowing how to build an automation in a vacuum is virtually useless. You must translate those capabilities into the exact language of a business owner's most immediate headache. The outreach strategy shifted when Alex stopped pitching a resume and started pointing out a specific, glaring inefficiency that the business was already suffering from. Take a look at this local review page. Anyone can look at a public profile like this for a small e-commerce store and spot a string of 1-star reviews complaining about how long it takes customer support to reply. The new pitch simply offers a rough sketch to fix that exact pain point, an automated system that answers routine questions instantly and leaves only the complicated issues for a human to handle. This diagram shows the exact architecture proposed to the client. It uses VoiceFlow to map out the basic conversation, and Zapier to route the tricky escalations directly into the team's existing email inbox. Diagnosing a visible problem from the outside and handing the owner a precise blueprint to solve it is the mechanism that converts a cold lead into a first real client. The scope of that first project was modest. The reality of executing it was chaos. Unlike a pristine tutorial, the client's existing inbox systems were an absolute mess. Real customers didn't type out neat, predictable prompts. They used slang, bizarre phrasing, and half-sentences. The automation broke twice almost immediately upon contact with the real world. When a practice project fails, you quietly close your laptop. When a live client build fails, real customers are stranded and a business owner is waiting for an explanation. Alex had to debug the chatbot's conversation flow live. Pieces of the integration had to be entirely rebuilt and tested under the pressure of a looming deadline. Anyone can push buttons in a software interface, but a professional stays in the room to reassemble a system when it shatters under real-world pressure. After 3 grueling weeks, the system finally held up. The client saw a measurable drop in repetitive emails clogging their inbox, and they were thrilled. That satisfaction led directly to a referral. The first contract requires fighting tooth and nail. Every contract after that gets significantly easier because undeniable proof does the persuading for you. This logic model shows how a portfolio expands. By month 9, Alex was running 3 distinct automation projects simultaneously: one chatbot, an internal reporting workflow built with Make, and an AI content generation system for a marketing team. Managing the technical build was suddenly the easy part. The real bottleneck became tracking 3 different delivery timelines, handling feature requests outside the original scope, and constantly communicating delays to different stakeholders. You can spend 7 months mastering the software, but none of those platforms teach you how to set boundaries or run a sustainable freelance operation. At month 10, survival required a hard pivot. Taking every gig that walked through the door had to stop. making way for a strict focus on a single lane. The target became exclusively small e-commerce stores. That first successful customer support build was now a proven, referenceable asset that could be shown to identical businesses with identical problems. This funnel chart illustrates the mechanics of pitching a niche. Narrowing your target audience feels risky, but pitching a highly specific solution to a smaller list of qualified leads results in drastically more signed contracts. Sticking to one specific type of build also transforms the delivery speed. You stop building from scratch every time and start reusing your own tested templates and refined systems. Narrowing your focus enables you to scale a sustainable income by delivering predictable results rather than solving new problems for every client. A full year after opening a laptop with zero technical background, it is vital to look at the unglamorous financial reality of this path. This graph shows a realistic first-year revenue curve. There is no overnight wealth. The income starts at zero, seems flat through the learning phase, and then climbs in a jagged, uneven pattern of busy weeks and frighteningly quiet ones. Platforms like Zapier, Make, VoiceFlow, and Claude make this entirely possible. They are accessible to absolutely anyone willing to put in the hours, without writing code. Success in this field is sustained by the discipline to keep sending pitches through the silence, the stomach to debug a broken workflow while a client waits, and the integrity to communicate honestly through a project's failure. Technical tools will constantly change. The enduring, high-income skill is your ability to look closely at a business, see the human bottleneck, and build exactly what they need to fix it.